first of all, that you cannot see into my eyes because of the reflection from my glasses. I cannot situate it in a manner where, I don't look like, an evil anime character. So, deepest apologies, my most sincere regrets. Today, I am bringing you a different sort of video because I don't have that much homework over the weekend and I am recovering from a cold. I decided to do a sort of chill version of like a 24 or 48 hour readathon, something that's kind of like, how much can I realistically read in a weekend? Well, in like 3 days, because I don't have anything to do on Fridays. I do still, of course, have like a little bit of homework and stuff that I'm gonna need to get done, but a lot of that is reading anyway, so I think that should count. But I decided that like it's gonna be, it's not like an intense, like I'm gonna sit down and read for 24 hours straight and it's gonna be great. I'm not doing that. I am not that hardcore. But I tend to, especially recently, I have tended to read like for an hour or so in the mornings and then kind of do other stuff for the rest of the day. So I'm curious to see how much I could get done, how much reading I could get done if I focused primarily on reading. And even when I was doing some other things, maybe I have an audiobook in the background. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I can't predict the future. But let me tell you, it was a pain to, because it's like almost 4:30 in the afternoon right now. And I was like, I should choose a book that I can finish in like by tonight, like by the time I go to bed. And then I'm like, do I really want to do that? Like, just pick a short book for the sake of picking a short book? Kind of. But then also, like, I want to pick a book. I want to do books that are only off my physical TBR. I don't want to do anything on my Kindle, even though I have a lot to read on my Kindle. I want to do solely my physical TBR books because I love putting them up back on the shelf. It makes me so happy. It's very satisfying. And because I have a lot of books on my TBR that have been there for years, and I wanna read them. Do I want to read them that badly because they've been on there for years? I don't know, but I wanna read them and know whether or not I want to keep it or get rid of it. So, speaking of, I have A Curse for True Love with me, which is the third book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy by Stephanie Garber. This book I've had, I believe, since it came out. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition before they started doing sprayed edges on everything. But I believe I've had this since it came out in 2023. And I didn't read it, first of all, because I was taking my little break. And then I didn't read it because I heard bad reviews. And now I didn't read it because I feel like I don't remember enough from the first two books. I remember that big cliffhanger at the end of Ballad of Never After, but I don't really remember anything else. Like, I know her name is Eva, and I know his name is Jax, and I know there's a guy named Apollo who Eva is married to. Spoilers. But that is all I really remember. Upon reading reviews of this and like people like reacting to it, I'm remembering that there is another person involved who's maybe friends with Jax and also looks really good in yellow. I'm remembering that detail, that she looks good in yellow, but I don't remember what her name is. So this is the conclusion that I've been putting off for almost 3 years now. I'm gonna get it done, and then I'm gonna decide whether or not it was good and it was like satisfying an ending. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be kind of like a read more often than I normally would, but not like super intensely because I'm not crazy type thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. The goal is to, I'm sorry, there's a sticker on here that I really want to peel off. Oh no, it's not coming off properly. Oh God, what have I done? Anyway, oh God, this is gonna bother me. Just give me a second. Okay, I did it. I am begging bookstores to please put easily removable stickers on your books. That was so stressful. And now there's like a bunch of little indents on the book where I had to peel the sticker. Ugh. Everything is terrible. Anyway, I am going to go make a little tea or a hot chocolate. I'll keep you updated. And then we will get into this, and we will hopefully try and read this until we go to bed tonight, which should be, I don't know, I go to bed early. I'm a little grandma. But we will read this until we go to bed tonight. I will keep you updated. See you in the next clip with my tea and or hot chocolate. Tea or hot chocolate. All right. I was making my pomegranate green tea, which is not green. It's like reddish, pinkish. But when I poured the water in, the boiling water, not the boiling water, but the almost boiling water in over the tea bag, it turned like a lovely shade of light pink. And that's when I remembered that Evangeline's hair is like pink. Not like bright pink, but like light pink. Rose gold maybe is how it's described. But that, honestly, that remembrance kind of turned me off of reading this book. But I'm gonna commit because I made the tea to fit the mood of the book, but I am kind of like icked out by that. But it's fine. Let's get into it. Let's go. Cheers. About an hour. I am on page 98 and I just turned the page, chapter 11. It's the first POV from Jax that we've gotten all book. I had to wait 100 pages for that. But I've realized that I accidentally made this experience of reading kind of better because, spoiler alert for this series, but Evangeline has lost her memories at this point. And so she doesn't remember like what's been going on, like who Apollo is, who Jax is. Like she doesn't remember anything. She just knows that she's married to Apollo and she is now a princess and she needs to tell someone something. The good thing is I don't remember any of that. So I and Evangeline, I am in the same position as Evangeline. Hello, yes, hi. So it's quite nice to sort of be in the same situation as her. I'm gonna find out along with her what she did, all her lost memories. So I don't think that's what Stephanie Garber intended to happen with this book, but I'm in the exact same position as Evangeline. I also don't remember shit. So it's kind of funny. I feel like if I did maybe remember certain things that I'd be like upset or impatient, but I'm not. I'm along for the ride. So I'm excited to get to this Jax POV, and I will update y'all later. So I have finished A Curse for True Love, and it was fine. You know, I think a lot of the momentum and emotional impact was sort of dulled or taken away because it took me like 3 years to read it. But oh dear. Yes. Okay. All right. Sorry. The dog. But you know, it was good. It wasn't great. It was okay. I don't know, the writing seemed kind of odd, if that makes, like, it was very repetitive, and there were some parts that were like, this doesn't feel like it fits the tone of the overall book. I mean, it was okay. It was like a 3.5, 3.75, like, yes, hello, Boofer. You know, it wasn't awful, but, and, you know, am I glad I finally read it? Yes. Was it the best book I've ever read? No. Do I think I would have enjoyed it more had I read it, you know, immediately after, well, not immediately after, but closer to finishing the second book? Yes. But now it's about 10:30, so now it is time for some breakfast and maybe another cup of coffee, and I will start the next book. All right, I'll see y'all there. Started The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I am on page 118. I did take a little break to go grocery shopping because we're supposed to get like an ice/snowstorm where I'm at, and I don't want the power, well, I don't want the power to go out, but in case the power goes out, I need provisions, and then also I needed groceries. But because of where I live, we're not very used to snow or ice, so the grocery store was like a cluster. But I came home, everything is fine. It's like 2:30 now. I made myself a calming cup of coffee. You may be thinking, Ash, How the hell did you make a calming cup of coffee? Well, folks, I'll tell you. It has cinnamon and nutmeg and whipped cream. That's it. I mean, it also has like honey and milk. It honestly might be too sweet. I might have made it too sweet with the honey and the whipped cream. But because I have a French press, I can put like ground cinnamon and ground nutmeg in with the coffee grounds and it'll steep like all together. So the coffee has like that cinnamon nutmeg flavor in it. And it is delicious. And I thought today I would add a little bit of whipped cream for some extra creamy sweetness. I realized as I was putting the whipped cream on top that I had already put honey in. So it might be a really sweet cup of coffee, but that's okay because I like sweeter coffee in the afternoon. So it was this or a hot chocolate and I wanted coffee. Sleep scientists might say not to drink coffee after noon, but what do they know? They don't know shit. So I will be reading The Reappearance of Rachel Price probably for the rest of today. I don't know if, hopefully I can finish it today if I really dedicate my mind to it. I don't think it should. Let me see actually how many pages, without spoiling myself, of course. Oh, I think these are Holly Jackson's notes. Yeah, that's cool. That's an excerpt of 5 Survive. Okay, here are the acknowledgements. 430 pages. If I'm on page 118 now, that's like 310-ish pages, right? I think so. That should be enough. I think I can get through that in like, yeah, I should be able to finish this today. My school is canceled on Monday, so I have even more time than I anticipated over the weekend, which is very exciting. So maybe I'll make this video a little bit longer. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Go if you have any way to make your coffee where you can like alter the grounds a little bit. Try putting cinnamon and nutmeg on top of the coffee grounds. It's so good. Anyway, let's get to reading. Reading slower today, just in general, although the last, like, I don't know, 20, maybe 25% of this book was crazy. But I did have a break, had a shower, had a change of clothes, but I did manage to finish it today like I thought I would. It is, I actually don't know what time it is. I think maybe 8 or 8:30. So I do have time to start another book before bed if I so desire. But first, let me talk about The Reappearance of Rachel Price because it was really good. Definitely, okay, so I feel like I kind of guessed certain things, but also I was not correct in any of my guesses. Like, I was kind of correct, but also not really correct. And I can't really elaborate for spoiler reasons. But Holly Jackson just knows how to write a good mystery. I wouldn't call them thrillers. I feel like thrillers have to be like, I don't know. I feel like with a thriller, you're more like in danger the whole time. Whereas with Holly Jackson's books, they're more of like a tangled web of lies that you're like unraveling. It's very it's like a thriller mystery thriller type thing, but not exactly. I wouldn't call it a thriller. And I know this is like semantics, but I get very picky because I like mysteries and I only kind of like thrillers. But I always really like mysteries. I don't know. I just feel like there's a difference and I get very specific about that difference, but it was really good. The cover is a little misleading, and that is all I will say. I feel like I can't really say much about the book without spoiling it too much. I liked the writing. I think I don't remember a lot from A Good Girl's Guide, but I think Holly Jackson's writing has evolved a little bit, if I recall correctly. And there were definitely like sort of ideas or themes or like recurring elements that you could like easily pick up on in Reappearance. And I liked that a lot. It was like they were kind of on the nose, but like they kind of had to be. But the Holly Jackson is just, I can never guess what the endings of her books are gonna be. I need to read 5 Survive now, and that other one, the Not Dead Yet one. Or Not Quite Dead Yet. I don't know. But this is, like, I bought this because I knew I liked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that series. And this is just solidifying the idea, not the idea, but, like, the opinion that I have that I think Holly Jackson's a really good mystery writer. Because it's just so, like, I don't know, there's something about her writing that's so, like, twisty and addictive, and I'm like, I need to know what happens next. And there's I don't know if this is in all of her books, but like, this one too, there was just, like, a touch of romance that just kind of keeps you going. It's like a lighter bit to all, like, the heavy mystery stuff. But I really liked this book. I'm thinking it's probably, like, 4.25, 4.5 stars. Probably. I don't know yet. Check my Fable. But it was really good. I'm glad I finally read it because I've had it for quite some time now. Excited to put it up on the shelf. And I have to say, I love this cover. Like, I don't think it's totally accurate compared to, like, what happens in the book. But I do love this cover a lot. Maybe I'm a little biased because I have a background in theater and I wanted to go into film, but I love a good, like, I forget what they're called, clapperboard. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna read next, like always, but I'm sure I'll find something and I'll keep you updated, so see you then. Hello, it is Sunday. It snowed, like, all last night, and we've got, I don't know, maybe, I actually don't know how much snow we've got, maybe 6 inches? I don't know. But the reason that I don't have any footage for Saturday is because I started Gideon the Ninth and then kind of felt like it wasn't like a bingeable book, you know? And put it down and then couldn't decide what to read. And then I watched a movie. I watched Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out, whatever, however you say that, which was good, but this isn't a movie review channel. But I did yesterday because I felt like snow. I wanted something comforting. I wanted something cozy. And whenever I want something like comforting and cozy, I always go for rereads. So I realized I'd never actually read this special edition of City of Bones, which, if you open the front cover, it's got Clary, and then I believe the back whatever, has Jace. And it's got, like, character portraits. Hang on, let me find one. Let me find Magnus. It's got character portraits and art, like, at the top of the chat, like, on the chapter titles, and, like, sometimes full pages of art. So I'm really appreciating this read because I love, like, seeing how other people see the world, and it helps me, like, put details into the world as well. And you know, with books that I've reread multiple times, they're always more clear in my head. Like I have a clearer picture of what everyone looks like and what everything looks like. So I know people have mixed opinions about City of Bones and about Cassandra Clare, but this is my fucked up little series that I read when I was 13. You know how people have those series that they read when they're like 13, 14 and they can't. It's like Twilight for most people. But this is my fucked up little series from when I was 13. And, you know, the Shadowhunters universe is so interesting to me. Especially now that I'm in a class that's essentially like History of the Devil, and learning about like the origins of like the Nephilim, however you say that, and, you know, the idea of demons and demonology. It's just funny from like because I always knew about like demons and angels and all that. Like I knew like about the concepts, but like the idea of them like interacting with the world was always something that I saw in like fantasy media, like Supernatural or Shadowhunters or Lucifer, the TV show. So it's interesting learning about, you know, how people actually like interacted with these ideas, you know, in the past. But it is funny because we did read we read a couple cantos of Dante's Inferno, and then The Mortal Instruments is a Shakespeare quote from a play that I read for my Shakespeare class, Julius Caesar. So that was like the first thing that I read in the book, and I was like, oh, just read that. But overall, the plot of this book, if you know it, it's stupid, but it's my stupid. I do, however, really enjoy this series apart from the implied incest. That's never actually incest. Spoilers, by the way. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna get into it, but aside from that, I don't know. Magnus Bane is like one of my top favorite characters of all time. I love that man. And I always liked, you know, the Lightwoods and Jace and Clary and Simon. They're just like, they're so nostalgic to me. And they're like, it's like rereading Percy Jackson, where it's just like, those are my little guys. They're my little dudes, my little fucked up teenagers. So that is why I have no footage from yesterday, because I was reading Gideon the Ninth and then I wanted something cozy. And some of you might be like, why did you put down Gideon the Ninth and pick up City of Bones? And I'm like, because my brain is weird. Don't judge me. But it's about, I don't know, 12:31 right now, I think. So I've been up for a little while. Again, it snowed. I took the dog out. I took Seamus out. And he was like prancing around in the snow. I was wearing slippers that don't have backs, so I was really uncomfortable. That was my bad. But he was like prancing around in the snow and then went back up the stairs, like didn't pee. So I'm like, great. But my partner took him out again and he did pee, but in case you were wondering. But yeah, that was like, Seamus has only seen snow like a couple times, so he's been frolicking around in it. He's such a goof. But I am glad it snowed. I think I know it's kind of late in the day, but I think I might make myself another cup of coffee and curl, maybe hot chocolate coffee, where you just put a packet of hot chocolate and then pour the coffee on top and stir it up and it tastes like hot chocolate with a little bit of coffee. Delicious. Might make some of that and get back to my reading. As you can see, I have my wintry mug. It's empty, but I was using my wintry mug today because I had to. But I might go make myself another cup of coffee and then get back into reading City of Bones. And I think that'll be the last book for this video, but I will update you once I have finished it. So see you in the next clip. Around 6-ish in the evening, and I have finished City of Bones. I have put meatballs into the oven so I can have dinner. It's all very exciting. And there is still a bunch of snow on the ground outside. So one of those things is relevant to this video, and the rest are just relevant to my life right now. So City of Bones, as I said previously, was a reread, and it was so nice just sort of revisiting these characters who are so messy and angsty in like 15-year-old ways. The plot of The Mortal Instruments is what it is, but I love the characters so much that I just kind of overlook it. Yeah, I realized in my reread that Magnus only has like 2 scenes, and they're like back-to-back scenes, and yet he steals the show. That man is the star of the book. I love him so much. But I don't know if I'm gonna reread the whole series. I might. If I do, I probably won't film it because it's a reread and it's not that interesting to, you know, hear me talk about how much I love these characters over and over again and not have anything like to react to because I already know everything that's gonna happen. Like, there are probably small details that I could be like, oh my god, I forgot about that. But I don't think that'd be very interesting. So if I do reread them, I probably won't talk about it that much. But that, I think, is going to end the video. It was so nice bringing you all along with me on my intense reading weekend where I did do a couple other things today. I finished this crow that I was diamond painting. And as I said, I watched a movie last night, but the majority of my weekend has been just straight reading, and it's been kind of exhausting, but it was also really fun. So let me know if you liked it. I might do a video like this again because I had a really good time. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.